Good evening,
shaking.
and welcome to Whack Wednesday. My name is Autumn, and this is my husband Richard, and we go live here on our YouTube channel, Watch Autumn Keto, every Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for hashtag Whack Wednesday. But you can also find us on our other channel, the Weathers channel, where we go live every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So subscribe. There's a channel somewhere around there, so that you can see every time we go live. Yeah, right. Exactly.
I like that.
Judy's here, says, good evening, Mr. and Mrs. How was your day? It was amazing. I had an amazing day.
I was gonna say very productive.
And very productive, right? Like, you guys, I am just back to the point where I love every day that's going on. I just love it. I just love everything about it. And I'm so grateful.
Every day is brand new.
Yeah. And today's June 1st. What? Hashtag new month, new me. Hashtag new month, new chance. Hashtag new month to get it right. Come on now. I love the beginning of things. I'm intense. Mom's here. Speaking of intense, says, hi, Gigi. Hi, Whack fam. Hi, Mom. Joyce is here. Says, on break, but had to say hi to my Whack fam. 2 weeks till closing on our new home. Miss you all so much. Joyce, do you remember when it was months when it was that? I mean, time just flies, and it's so soon for you guys. I'm so excited.
It's around the corner.
And look at us wearing our Keto Palooza shirts in that video, or in that picture. It makes me miss Keto Palooza.
Yeah.
Huffnut's here says, happy rainy Wednesday evening, Whack fam. Hope everyone is doing great. I'm doing great. So.
Wonderful evening, Huffnut.
Yes. Shauna says, hey y'all, rain would be nice here. We have a couple day fires going on that's impeding me getting rid of my cough and allergies.
Lord
that's the worst.
See, wouldn't it be great just to control the weather? Give you your rain.
Shauna said, not sure if I'll stick around for a couple keto. Not sure if I'll stick around for a couple keto. No, that's just, so we have Coach Bronson coming on, and this is just kind of one of the topics we want to talk about, which I'm excited about. It's just like understanding keto from the perspective of, doing it with a partner, or maybe not. That's the whole point. Like, if you're specifically trying to improve your health and life, and maybe your spouse or significant other is not your housemate, right? Your adult, right? So just kind of learning about the challenges and the successes and the things that have happened, along the way.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like with you can't really have too many choices in front of your face.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if you open the fridge and like there's a bunch of stuff that would be bad for you on one side?
I could imagine that, and I wouldn't like it. So I'm very grateful that you have a decent diet, just naturally, right? Jen's here, so excited for Whack Wednesday. I'm excited y'all's heard too. Brianna said, good evening, Whack fam.
Hey, Jen.
Yes, I'm glad that you all are here. Ooh, we done skipped ahead.
I think it does that naturally.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just pushes you.
I'm looking for...
It's a nudge. It nudges you forward.
Yes, it was a nudge. Blue Dog here says, happy Whack Wednesday, all you wackos. You're right. So
good.
Lynette here says, hello. Hi, Lynette. I'm glad you're here. Matrina's here. Says, hello. Shelly said, it's Wednesday already. I know, right? Because the holiday be throwing you off and whatnot. Because like Monday was a holiday, we have to go to work, and I thought today was Tuesday, but today is Wednesday. Brianna said, just bought my KetoCon ticket. Yikes, it was pricey. Dumb oil prices. Oh yeah, like your plane ticket. It's all the way bad. So Shauna said, I'm not a couple keto, not even family keto. I know, right? I mean, just talking about keto in like your family or home setting, I think will be really interesting to hear about. So
I mean, eventually you got to be around people.
Tangela is here to say, hey guys, much love from Ohio. I'll
45.
Exactly. 45.
45.
Carla's here, says hello, getting hot here in South Arkansas. Glad that you're here, Carla. It's been hot
already there.
Literally in Louisville, Kentucky. Like the forecast for the whole week was like hot. Like not even partly sunny or anything like that.
This is the part of summer that I don't
Carla said, I'm a couple keto with my daughter. Exactly. Cece's here, says hello, Whack fam. Yeah, so with that, I'm caught up on the comments. So with that, let's welcome on Coach Bronson. Hey, how you doing? I know, right? That's my...
Nailed it.
I didn't really know that was going to become my thing, but the mouth siren is definitely like my thing. So
that's your thing.
It's official. I mean, I didn't start it, but like it's just like one of my ways to express excitement. Okay. So like it's just I'm with you. Yeah. So hey, Coach Bronson. So I told Richard, I was like, oh yeah, the subject for tonight is like keto as a couple, and he was like, oh good, that means Natalie's gonna be on. I was like, actually,
actually no.
She's working
So
right now. She can join us later.
She's here. She might pop in. She had a client schedule some stuff change, so
I understand completely.
Darn,
she's here in spirit. She's here in spirit.
Needy. Yes. So, how are you? How have things? We're far enough removed from the cruise, I guess. Like, are you just like back to normal? Are you still doing deeper state keto?
No, I stopped that before the cruise.
Oh, did you? Okay, I didn't know
that
was okay.
No, so my goal was cutting to the cruise.
Okay.
And then now I've made it more complicated. So now, so what I was doing before was just an experiment on doing a lower protein, higher fat cut. Right. Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you.
Oh,
I
all the birthday wishes. Appreciate it.
I've seen your Facebook post, and I'm just like, dang, he's
50. So what's changed? So I got down to under 10% body fat. Everything was good. I actually did it. So my starting lean mass, my starting muscle mass was exactly the same.
Wow. You just lost fat
after I lost about 6% body fat.
Wow.
That's
So
crazy.
I lost 6% body fat. My skeletal muscle mass stayed the same from the beginning to end.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So what I'm doing now is I have a goal of, I ended the cut at around 91 pounds of skeletal muscle mass. I'm going for 100 pounds of skeletal muscle mass.
Wow.
So I put on 9 pounds of muscle and keep my body fat percentage the same.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing now. So now I'm switching it up and I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing a bulking phase, but I'm going to bulk and lean at the same time.
You're going to bling.
I'm going to lulk.
There we go. It's one of those.
And so how do you do that? Because I'll say that's always been one of my questions. Like if I'm focusing on losing fat, like if a goal of mine is to lose fat and a goal of mine is to build muscle, which one should I do first, or can you do them at the same time? And Robert Sykes, the Keto Savage, at least the last time I asked this question, which was years ago, he said you should focus on one or the other, because if you try to do them both at the same time, you'll like be half doing each of them, right? So maybe like a person like you that's like an expert or like trained in knowing how to do them together. But for the average person, if you split your focus, you'll end up doing neither as well as you could if that's all you were focused on.
Yeah, no. So I would firmly disagree with that. So
and maybe here's one, like I said, this was years ago. So
yeah. So, and this is one of the things that going through the deeper skate, his protocol, his protocol works very similarly to traditional bodybuilding cuts. Okay. So even though it's ketogenic, even though it's no carbs, it's high fat and low protein, he still bases it off of caloric deficit and weight. There's no emphasis, there's no differentiation between body composition, and there's no differentiation between macronutrients. So he's using a ketogenic methodology, but he's still based in traditional bodybuilding techniques. Okay? And so that's why doing it that way, when you're talking about total calories, you have to do one or the other because you have no way to control for anything else.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you do it based on separating protein and fuel, that gives you an opportunity to leverage and do two things at the same time. Because protein builds muscle, fuel manages composition. So that's where that happens. So I bumped my protein back up. At the end of the cut, I was at 125 grams of protein.
Wow.
Okay.
I know. I eat more than that. So.
Yeah, right. So I've been averaging about 180 to 200 grams of protein a day right now. And I upped my fat as well a little bit. So I was at 100. Sorry, I take it back. No, that's right. 125. My fat was 125. My protein was 110.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't like that at all. Didn't like that at all.
How much fat? I mean, you just got to be drinking butter at that point. Like you can't be eating fatty meat because you have to keep your protein low, and then but you have to like get that fat in. Crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of butter. I mean, I love butter anyway, so I know,
right?
Yeah. But so I was at 110 protein, 125 fat. So right now I'm about, my goal for protein is 165, but I'm getting about 180 to 200, and I'm getting 155 grams of fat right now. And I'm
that.
still maintaining and losing body fat. So it's a cool process to go through and find what I call your maximum energy threshold, which is the maximum amount of fuel that you can take in before your body starts storing.
Wow.
Well, so Maitreya says, whenever Savage gives me advice, we always bump up my calories significantly, but usually using fat and protein. Yeah,
Correct.
you know, there's nothing wrong with this protocol at all. No. But you know, it's from a person that can control that has that mental fortitude to like really just zone in. And for me, like I always revolt. I'm just like, no, I can't do this. I don't embrace the suck. Like I'm just not like, oh, I hate it, but I love it. Like, no, I'm just like, I hate this. Like,
and that's the difference because it's rooted in traditional techniques where it's overall calories, right? Fat and protein combined going up and down, and not keeping the fat where it is and just using the fat, or sorry, keeping the protein where it is and just using the fat as a leverage. You're gonna be hungry. You're gonna go through that hangry phase. You're gonna be like, I need more food because you're dropping everything. And doing it the way that I do it, I've never had anybody say that they're worried about that they're hungry. Because you can eat all the meat you want. It just as you get lower, you go a little leaner.
Yes, I love that. And I think that's where I'm like landing on this whole thing. Joe Ray's here. Says, good evening. I made it, and I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. It's been too long. Glad you're here. # new month, new us. What up? So I'm excited because that's what I'm focusing on is just tapping into my body fat for fuel, but using protein as the building block of my, just like my muscle, my body, right? But eating in a way that specifically accesses body fat. That's what I'm focusing on. I had like a math revelation today, I think it was. Cool, yeah, because I stepped on the scale, like the body composition scale.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about my current body fat percentage. No one needs to hear about that, right? But I realized, like, my goal. What do you think of a goal for me, like your average woman, 25% body fat?
Great spot. Great place to start.
Okay, great place to start, right? So I realized if I have 120 pounds of lean mass and 40 pounds of body fat, that puts me at a 25% body fat. And you add that together, and that's 160 pounds. And I'm like, you know what? I've always said that like 160 would be a good weight, but like at those proportions,
Right.
So I stepped on the scale. I already have 120 pounds of lean mass. Like that's literally what my scale already says. So the only thing I need to focus on is losing that body fat. Now, granted, that's the thing. But the more muscle I gain, if I were to be gaining muscle, then I could afford to hang on to a little more fat as well and still keep that ratio.
There you go.
All things current, I need to be at 40 pounds of body fat. But if I were to improve my lean mass the way that I intend to anyway, then I could afford to hang on to more fat pounds.
Sure.
Regardless, it just directly zones in on exactly what I need to focus on. Like,
does your scale do skeletal muscle mass?
Yes.
And does it give you a percentage?
Yes. Let me see what my scale says.
There's an app for that.
Yes, there's an app for that. Okay. Let's see what it says from today. Skeletal muscle 30.7 is what it says.
Okay. So you have two goals.
Okay.
Get your body fat percentage to 25%.
Yes.
And get your skeletal muscle mass to 40%.
40. Also, once fat goes down, this will also go up, but I could also supplement this by building muscle on top of it.
There you go.
Focus on the skeletal muscle mass gain, and then everything else will fall into place.
Yes. That's what I'm working on. So, but that really just like, it's encouraging to look up and realize like you already got half that.
You're not that far away. Yeah.
Like I already have, if I'm looking for 120 and I'm looking for 40, holy crap, I'm already at that 120. Like that 40 is a mess right now. But it's like, wow, I already have this thing, right? So it was really cool to see, and it really just helped me laser focus in on like, you know what? I'm okay. I have this specific thing. And that just helps me look at like, I need to eat enough protein to maintain and build, but I need to eat in a way that accesses my body's stored body fat in order to get that number down. So that was just really, it was really encouraging. Lynette says I guess I should start tracking my macros, but I've lost 14 pounds since I got back from the cruise.
Wow.
Awesome. My question would be, did you gain any weight on the cruise though? Because I can drop 15 pounds in 2 days as long as because I've gained 15 pounds in the previous 2 days. You know what I'm talking about? But like, if you're 14 pounds down from what you were before then, that's amazing. So yeah. Shauna said I was down 8.2 right after I got back from the cruise. Then self isolation time hit. Yeah, looking forward to getting out again. Yeah, that is that can be tough, especially when you're like just used to being not only around people, just trapped around people.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
life of a cruiser.
That's crazy. Jen said, question for Coach Bronson: if you are strength building twice a week, do you need to feel sore afterwards or the next day for it to have been effective? I just want to say, I have this exact same question because Richard and I started working out. Again, we went back to the gym specifically on Sunday, and I lifted weights, and I felt like I did really well, like focusing on failure and really, working out the muscle groups that were in my workout. And then the next day, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of feel it here. But Richard's just like, oh, my pecs, oh, my lats, ah. And I'm just like,
how are you going to
I was just like, I mean, I have a little soreness, but like, I didn't feel like the sore that maybe you would associate with working hard enough. So to Jen's question.
Yeah, no, you do not. Feeling sore can be a side effect of working hard, but it doesn't have to be. Okay. Just like with our weight, just like with our body composition and getting on the scale every week, things like that. If you're consistently feeling not feeling anything after your workouts, no soreness, no discomfort, nothing, like it's common, and it's not a strange thing to be have a little tenderness.
Yeah,
right? I think there's levels, right? There's tenderness, soreness, and pain.
Yes,
right. If you want to call it so, tender and sore. Yeah, tender and sore, good. Pain, not good.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are consistently working out and then not feeling anything, then it's possible you're not pushing hard enough. Okay. Every once in a while, you should feel like there's something going on.
Yes.
So I would say that, on the converse side of that, if you're working out consistently and every time you work out, you're like, I can't barely move. Maybe you need to chill out a little bit.
Exactly. That's a great point. Jerry Van West is here. Says, good evening, Wark fam. Good evening, coach. I always wonder about that. I'm just like, I'm not supposed to feel sore. I'm not sore. Now, granted, like I said, there is some tenderness, like, oh yeah, I did move those. Okay, I did something, but it's good to know that like I shouldn't be measuring my progress by like, oh, my arms are just so heavy because I worked so hard,
Right. So. The thing that should be changing, and this is what I was talking about with the body composition, it's just like your scale and body and all the different metrics of your body comp, right? We've got 7 or 8 different things that we look at when we talk about body composition. The same thing for your workouts. If you're doing a workout on 1 week and then you go 3 weeks and you haven't really been feeling that sore and your numbers aren't going up, and that's a sign that you're not working hard enough.
There you go.
Right. If you're working as hard as you can and your numbers are getting more and more and more each week, and you're doing more reps, or you're doing heavier weight, or you're doing a more complex movement, you're just not feeling sore, then I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. While I got you here, you're just going to be my personal exercise coach right now.
Let's do it.
So what I did, I really liked the workout that I did. It was inspired by the talk that Fred Hahn gave. And it was a circuit where I focused on an exercise for 90 seconds. Okay. And I did as many reps as I could in those 90 seconds.
Slow or fast?
Well, slow.
Okay.
Because I was just really intentional about keeping moving. Because there was another, like I said, this is the first time we went to the gym in months, and they switched out all the exercise equipment. And now the workout machines are so high tech that they can actually sense your work, like movements, and it counts your reps for you. And it counts the amount of time you've been doing it for you. Like, what is this? But I noticed if you rest too long, even for like 3 seconds, it cuts off. And I was just like, oh no, don't start all over. I realized, I was like, okay, well, I have to keep moving. It was like really good because it was encouraging me to like keep moving because I didn't want it to start all over. And so I focused on the moves, like even concentrated movement for 90 seconds. And then I wrote out how many reps I did. Now, for the weight that I chose, because once again, I just started back after months. So I was like, I want to be challenging, but not deadly. I got around like 20 to 24 reps, like for each exercise.
Okay.
Is that a good number? Like, should I go up in weight? Like
much heavier.
Okay. So how many reps should I be able to do in 90 seconds?
So in the 90s, for any one set, and it all depends what you're looking for. The heavier, how can we do this without getting too complicated? I'm going to give you a wide range.
Okay.
Somewhere between 6 and 12 reps.
In 90 seconds?
Well, remember, you gotta slow.
That's how slow it should be going?
I mean, that's how much weight also. Because you go to failure.
I know, but if I gotta fail in 6 reps, that's much heavier.
There's 12 in there too.
That's like literally
There's 12 in there too. It depends on how heavy you're going, how slow you're moving.
What?
Yeah.
That's like 10 seconds for each.
I mean, if you can, if 15 feels more comfortable for you after you try it, then go for 15. But
over 15, it's too light.
It's too late. That's too many reps.
You want to cut it in half.
You should be at pretty much at failure way before 15.
Wow. But in the 90 seconds.
So why are you picking 90 seconds?
Well, because to like not encourage me to like rest too long, I guess.
Okay.
Like,
so that's 90 seconds so that's 90 seconds. That's 90 seconds in between sets.
Yeah, I hear you there. But I'm also the type to be like, oh, 3, that was tough. Let me take like a breather.
So what I would do, and well, here's another thing too, is this is an easier way to track your improvement.
Yeah.
Okay. Go find a weight that is as heavy as possible for you to do 8 reps.
Okay.
However long it takes you. Continuous movement, slow.
Continuous movement. Yeah.
Okay. However long it takes you. If it takes you 40 seconds, it takes you 40 seconds. Okay. Do that until you can do that weight until you can get to 12 reps. Slow. When you can get to 12, go heavier and go back to 8.
Okay. So that's like a different way to look at it.
And then just keep doing that progression. 8, 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Add weight, go back to 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Go add weight, go back to 8.
But if I have to stop, like, okay,
you were really bent on that 90 seconds, right?
Well, it's not that. It's just like I just get so caught up in like the continuous movement. Like there are just some times where I'm just like, okay, I got to like 7 and I feel like I'm gonna die, so I'm just gonna stop. And then like 2 breaths, then I can go again. Like, is that enough?
Okay, that's not so that's not continuous movement.
Exactly. Like
that breaks it. So what happens is if that happens, stop, take a break, do that last one to get to 8.
Yes.
And then the next time you do that workout, do it again until you can get 8 without stopping.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to try that tomorrow. We're going to the gym tomorrow. So I'm going to try that. Okay.
So if your goal is to get to 8 first,
yes,
at something that's as heavy as possible for 8 reps,
continuous
when you get there and you can do that consistently for maybe a week or 2 in a row.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go for 9. I'm going to go for 10 and see what happens.
Okay. Like that is why I put the time limit on it, because I'm the type of person that rests, even like I said, even if it's 2, 3, 4 seconds. And what does continuous movement really mean?
It means continuous movement, no breaks.
I know, right? So that's scary.
So take that time.
Cruise and lost 14. Well, then, girl, you are doing it right. I'll tell you that. So I'm Driven West, and I'm down 5 pounds since the cruise, self-isolating. Yeah, since Patty got the thing. Yeah, I'm feeling. I mean, did you see so many people were getting sick back from the cruise? Did you all have to deal with that at all? I know, neither did we. I'm just like, what is in that? What's with the bears? They must just be immune to it all because
I was gonna say Bronson and the Bear family.
I know there's so many people
we had the buffer.
Yeah. So Jory said, I noticed when I cooled down and stretched, I was much less sore. Oh, so that is also a pro tip. So Maitreya said, I have my soreness a day late. DOMS, yes, delayed onset muscle soreness. It's not bad though, just more tired, sore than pain. Not being lazy helps. Yeah, I know, right? Just moving your body. Yeah.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah, most of it happens the second day, not the first day afterwards.
Yes, exactly.
That's the best kind of sore.
Okay, and so would you recommend doing that sort of workout plan 2 times or 3 times?
What you're doing?
Yes.
What else are you doing?
So for strength training, that's all I would be doing. But then like in the middle, I like to ride my bike other days. I like to do like cardio kickboxing, like just cardio for fun those other days.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine. I think you're doing full body, so you're getting some leg stuff in there. You're getting a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing that I don't like about that is because it's focused on machines, you're not getting compound movement. So you're not getting full body activation.
Well, but see, another reason I was focusing on the machines is because they were cool counting the number of reps. But if I already know the number of reps that I'm shooting for, then I'll just use the weights.
So it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other, and everything can have a place and a time in a season. So if you want to do that to see how that works for building muscle and getting stronger, because it will work. Then go for that. At some point, you'll need to look at, remember those essential movements, right? I haven't been hinging and squatting and pushing and pulling and using my whole body to do things. So you'll need to throw some stuff in like that eventually.
Yes.
And you're training your body every day to become better.
Wellman says, hi, first time here. I do not do any weight training. Good reminder. Yeah. Oh, it's very important.
Yeah.
So Strong says, this is such good info. I know, right? Like I'm just constantly learning and
evolving.
It's like you have to, all the information we get, you just dump it through like a sifter and then just take out the things you need or you want to try. Like I just think it's so different listening to like everyone's point of view and thoughts. And then just like figuring out like, okay, that's the one I want to go with.
Yes.
Jen says, so slow and controlled is more important than the number of reps and sets.
Slow, maybe. Controlled, definitely.
Yeah.
Controlled.
I would say continuous and controlled.
Yeah. So
like rather than like pumping out and then stopping.
Yeah. So the way that you're doing it is a specific technique called high intensity training. It's called HIIT. There's a whole genre of people and stuff that follow it. And it's different than the HIIT that a lot of people think of. That's HIIT. This is HIT, what you're doing. So there's HIIT, which is high intensity training, which is high intensity weightlifting, essentially. And then there's HIIT, which is high intensity interval training, which is a whole completely different thing. But basically, the idea is that you're getting maximal mind muscle connection by moving slowly, and you're moving maximal weight at as controlled as possible. You're getting what's called time under tension, which is holding that weight, and you're getting work. So you get the same amount of results in less reps, less time.
Yes.
As if you did 100, you're going to get 10 reps and you get the same result as if you did 100, essentially.
Yes. Because of the time under tension and the pressure.
Because of the time under tension. So that is
you got to lift heavy things. I look forward to it. I love it. So
I think we all do at some point.
Lynette said it's been a really long time since I've done any strength training. Got to get started. Yeah, that's what I would just recommend. Like eat liver, lift weights. Like that. Those are the two things. If you have to
eat meat, it doesn't have to be liver. Eat meat.
So the thing is, like meat is already the assumption, right?
Meat
but organ meat, that was the one thing I'm like, if whatever you're doing down here, just take it.
That's the special spot.
Organ meat. That's the next adding on to, and then because people
achieved it.
Because people might already say, yeah, I eat meat and carnivore, and yeah, I go walking and I do these things, but it's like, okay, we gotta a little notch, like organ meat, more nutritionally dense, and then strength training is that thing that takes it up a notch.
Right now? I am so impressed.
I'm trying because I stepped on the scale and I have the clear path. I have the vision of the numbers and I know exactly what to do to get there. It's just here's the thing. I know what result needs to be had. Now I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way for me to get that result, right?
Let's talk. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I know, right? Jen says I want to lift like
we haven't talked about couples at all, but this is fun. So let's keep talking.
Couples. I know, right?
It's the same principle, just doubled.
I be seeing Chella like squat them numbers, and I'm like, how is she doing that? I don't ask questions, but like that's where I'm trying to get to too. It's like multiple 100 pounds of squats. So like it's really amazing. Wellman says, "Hi, Autumn and Coach Bronson. Loved your presentations at the Salt Lake Keto Salt Lake conference. Thanks.
Awesome.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. So,
welcome.
Judy said, Autumn, that color looks really good and you matches my hair, doesn't it? Like, yeah. So yeah, that but Mom said her shirt's the same color as your skin. I said hair, but sure. If we want to take it the peach color of my skin, sure, Christina, we can do that.
You can see the collar in there.
So yes. Okay, D. Reagan says, how do you feel about push-ups, weighted squats, and 2-minute planks? Like together, separately?
It's all, I mean, hey, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, do those.
Go for it. Yeah, have a blast.
Approved.
Yeah, exactly.
D. Reagan.
That, I know, right? Stamp. Yes. D. All of the above, right? Yeah, absolutely. So Shauna said, I'll lift things hard no on the organ meets. I'm just saying you gotta try.
I mean, from where you were a year ago to where you are now.
Jen said, I did planks today and my cat helped me by laying down under me mid-plank. I mean, if that's ever like incentive, I've got to stay up here because if I drop, this cat's going the way. Well, man says, Autumn, you're so beautiful as you are. I don't know who you are, but I love you. Thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it. My mom said my planks are more like plunks. Christina, you're ridiculous.
Yeah, that's called just laying on the ground.
Yes. So
laying on your belly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try that, I guess. Like I'm just really interested in the most, I guess, the optimal way to exercise. Like how to get the most bang for my buck.
Sure
and it sounds like, well, weightlifting at least, right? And it sounds like I'm going to try this thing of like doing 8 reps at the heaviest weight I can do with continuous movement at 8 reps. Now, another question. How many, like, do you just do one exercise once or like work each muscle group once? And how many exercises do you do? For instance,
so
I do that
if you have machines, it's probably a machine for every body part.
Yes.
So the way I understand how the HIIT works is you do one set to failure, as heavy and as long as you can go. Yeah. And then you move on to the next thing.
Okay. And you never go back.
You never go back.
I love it because that's what that is what I did like on my Sunday workout, but it was just with the time limit. I mean, it's essentially the same thing except I'm going for rep. Like I was going for time instead of reps. But I just went from one to another. Now I did 16 exercises. Is that too many? Is that enough?
Go for it.
Yeah, I think so. I like 16. I just wanted to see if you have like a
remember this goes for nutrition and it goes for fitness. Yeah. There's no wrong thing as long as you're doing something.
As long as you're doing something. I love it. Okay, well then the 16
so try it. If you feel like, hey, I did all of this and I did it. I got some progress. I want to see a little bit more, or I got too much, or I'm too sore, or whatever. Maybe you do 8 one day, do the other 8 the next day, and then that way you have something to do every day. I mean, play around. You can totally play around with it. See what works best for you.
I absolutely love that. Like Wellman says, I just want to keep from breaking my bones as I get older. I'm turning 60 years old this year, and a lot of my friends and family are coming down with bone breaks and strains. It's so important.
I mean, that's really what Coach Bronson preaches.
I saw an interview with Dr. Gabrielle Lyon today, and there was a clip of her talking about women over 60, I think it was, who have a fall and a break. Have a 50% chance of never walking again.
Oh my God.
Wow. That's crazy. Oh man. Cause I be like, I make it a point. Sometimes like when I'm at my grandmother's house and like I'll walk down the hallway and like a piece of the rug will be flipped up and I'll kind of trip and I'll keep walking and I'm like, nope, I got to put that back down. Cause like if she trips over that, like it's a totally different story.
You moved my rug?
You said booster.
Get out of here! No more yard sales. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
I really have to think about that because a fall. Look, trust me, a fall as a 36-year-old, my bicep tendon still hurts. Like from when I fell off of like a 2-foot bench in November, and my biceps still, like, I can feel it, and I'm just like, no, I can't be having these old people fall. No. Brianna said I roasted a whole chicken this week. I cooked all the organ meat, but can't get myself to actually eat it. I don't.
Chicken hearts, man. Chicken hearts are the way to go.
Yucky.
That's the nectar.
Yes, absolutely. Like it's absolutely crazy. I don't want to do it.
I love it.
I do. So I don't like organ meat either. I do beef liver tablets.
See, okay,
Capsules.
I'll tell you what I've started doing, and I want you to tell me if like that's interesting or like that's nuts, right? So I heard from the internet, Jonathan Shane, the Keto Road, which I haven't talked to him in so long, but still, he mentioned this on Clubhouse maybe like a year ago, and I just did it this week. He was just like, if you don't like liver, but you want to incorporate it into your diet, liver comes frozen. Cut the frozen liver into little pieces and keep them in your freezer and just swallow them like pills. Right. And like, I was just like, oh, that's brilliant because I don't have to taste it. But then I'm just like, well, I get salmonella if I'm eating raw meat. Now, granted, it's frozen.
No, you won't. You're fine.
Okay, so I'm good. So yeah,
the one thing about liver though is you don't need to do it every day.
Yeah, no, I haven't been doing it every day.
Okay, so 3 days a week, 4 days a week, maybe, but it's definitely not something you need to do every day.
Yeah, that I have to do every day. Yeah, so somebody said even eating 4 ounces of liver a week is good enough for your health. And I was like, got it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been making myself drink my like my liver Tic Tacs is what I call them. Like they're just my liver Skittles.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like down in them, but like
quite amazing.
Because like I don't like the taste of it either, but I'm committed. Just like a couple of years ago when I was committed to cutting out like regular mayo, like when I was committed to cutting out seed oils from my diet, I'm committed to incorporating liver into my diet. And this is the best way for me. So.
Cool.
Yes. Jen said, I try to do different things. Machines one day, TRX one day, body weight another, cables another. I like to play around at the gym. I like that. Jen. My thought would be, or my question to you, Jen, would be, do you track what you're doing so that you can measure progress? Because I would feel like that's the most important thing, right? The man's face makes me feel like I got it correct. So
good call there, Coach.
Yes.
Good. Oh my God.
So playing around is fantastic and getting all that variety in, but definitely make sure that you're tracking what you're doing on all of the things. So the next time you go to that thing, you can kind of see if you're actually seeing progress.
Yes.
Exactly.
Love it.
And here's the thing. I was going to say, and here's the thing. If you're doing that, you want to try to make sure that what you're doing is supporting the other things that you're doing.
Okay, elaborate.
So there's a phrase called transferability. So, and that goes, so I'll just use metabolic performance as an example. I work with a lot of people that are runners or bikers. And when I first work with them, they'll come in and they'll say, okay, how often am I going to run? I'm like, you're not going to run at all. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? I said, I don't need you to run right now. We have other things we're going to work on. Running is going to take away. If you want to run on your own time and do some stuff, but I recommend not doing as much as you've been doing because your body's going to be whacked from all the stuff that we're introducing it to. So they go for 3 months or 4 months of not running even a fraction of what they used to run. After they're done working with me, they go for a run and they set a PR. Then they set another PR. Then they run further. Then they do this. And then they come back and they're like, and I wasn't sore afterwards. Right. So because the things we were doing transferred into the performance of what they wanted to do.
Yes.
So make sure that whatever you're doing is supporting other things that you want.
Other things you really want to be able to do. And I really want to be able to have these like shoulders in this tank top this summer. So like I'm going to be working out to support my shoulders in this tank top. You know what I'm talking about? So that's my goal. Shauna says, how would you do something like what you guys are talking about with bands?
The same way.
I'm telling you this, Shauna. I don't mess with bands because my nerves can't handle it. Like whenever I lift up, I just know it's going to snap and hit me in the face, right? Like my nerves don't.
You've been watching too much TikTok.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just horrible. Like, you should see me working out with
one
bands.
out of every 3 bands is going to smack you in the face.
I loop the band, like I'm trying to do like triceps and I loop the band over the door and I'm just like, oh God, no. Like it doesn't help me mentally, so I can't really be focusing because I'm just focused on not getting hit. But to your point, Coach Bronson.
Yes, there we go.
You can do everything that you want with bands. Did I lose you, Coach Bronson? Are you still
No,
there?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
I'm just looking at the troll.
Yeah. Oh no, we have one too. This is the same troll from.
It exists.
Yeah, this is the same troll from
Sometimes
Chris and Miriam.
I
got him, you guys. But so yeah, so you can do anything like
with bands.
So here's the thing. You don't even have to do the things we're talking about. Like, that's the thing. Like, oh, I hear y'all talking about that, but I only use bands and that doesn't work too well. Then do the things that do work well with bands, right? Like, it doesn't.
Sure.
These aren't the only things.
And there's a ton of things you can do. You can replicate a lot of stuff with bands. So, Shauna, if you have bands, if you have a place to attach the band something to, you can adds the variety and options that you have. So if you have stuff to work with, you basically just do the same thing. Find a band. The skinnier the band, the easier it is. It simulates a lighter weight. The thicker the band, the heavier it is. It's a heavier weight. So find a band that works for you, something that's challenging for 8 reps of whatever movement. Also, the closer you get into whatever the band's attached to, the easier it is. The further away you get from whatever it's attached to, the harder it is. So there's a lot of variety in how you can change the intensity of what you're doing with the bands. But it would do the same thing. Same thing.
I love it. Hook is hilarious. Said, "What the heck? They better at least hit the thumbs up button." Yeah, you're gonna troll. Hit the like button first, troll. You know, make it all for something. So, yes, but that I'm really gonna try that tomorrow, and I look forward to that because I just love trying things in new ways that that'll hopefully help me. So.
That's it.
Yes. Completely. Okay. Well, I mean, now that I've got my advice and my specific workout plan for tomorrow, now we can move into like couples, huh?
Right.
Like,
45 minutes in, we're going to talk about
right? We're going to cool 10 minutes on couples.
Oh, my goodness. No, so this is actually...
Jen, hold on real quick. Jen said, thanks, Coach Bronson. Seriously, your book motivated me to get back in the gym, and I'm loving working out again. I love that. I haven't started your book yet, but it's next on my reading list. So
it's next on your reading list? All right, cool. You should have a reading club.
I don't like people that much. Like, I just let people read. I don't want to share. I just want to read for me. So, I know I'm so antisocial. That's what the cruise taught me. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm just like I like to be by myself, like in a cave in a hole.
Yeah.
The cruise is so fun. And go to bed super early. I mean, just like dreams really do come true. You know what I'm talking about? But yes, it is. Yes, it is. Really, yeah, it was good. Okay. But yes, couples, let's talk.
All right. So so this is actually, so Nat and I on the cruise, we met so many people and so many couples that were there. We were surprised. Like how many, and not all of them, as you would think, were guys who got dragged there by their wives. Some of them were the guys wanted to come.
Yes.
Right. And their wives.
That was Brian and Karen. Like, Caboodle wanted to come and hooked. It's like, who's this stranger? But she's hooked now.
So so it was kind of cool seeing that. And one of the things that we realized is, we've both been in relationships where the other person wasn't on the same sheet of music, and it sucks. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked before in my story with my ex-wife is, part of the reason we got a divorce was because I went carnivore. Right. That was a big piece. Yeah. Right. That was a big.
I don't know if I knew that part of it.
Oh yeah. That's a whole video for another day.
That's in the third book.
Yeah. Right. So I've been on that side where my partner was not supportive. Yeah. So, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And so meeting Natalie and talking to her and being like, wait, you actually get this? Like, you got the same philosophy about things, and we're carnivore together and we cook together and all this. It's like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Even then, there's challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. We're 2 different people. We're on 2 different paths. We're doing 2 different things. We have 2 different goals. Just because we have the same general beliefs and concepts and things that we agree on doesn't mean that our paths are the same. We can support each other on those paths, but I have to remember that I'm not her coach.
Right?
She has to go through her journey in the way that's best for her. She has to know that I'm going through my journey in the way that's best for me. So a lot of guys like to fix things.
Wait, where'd you go?
Okay. And here's the thing, and a lot of women want things to be done their way.
Oh,
I mean, that's just us in a nutshell. Like, there should be a shirt. I fix things. I want things to be done my way. I mean,
I fix things better.
And
I've been doing keto alone for 4 years. I would love to get the hubs on board. Maitreya said, like I said, we get competitive amongst us, mostly positive, but sometimes we get carried away. Like, I feel like when you're passionate about something, like you can turn it into like, well, I'm gonna out health you, and then you lose sight of like, wait a minute, this is just causing some tension. Jen said you said you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. She said, or lost the t-shirt in the divorce. Now that made me crack up. Like,
oh my God, all the t-shirts I've gotten since then are way better.
Yes, exactly. That was beautiful. That was absolutely great.
Perfect.
Yes,
that's hilarious. So and that's obviously that's a blanket generic statement. Everybody's different. Not every relationship or every woman or guy is that way, but in a lot of cases that's kind of how it pans out. And you just got to remember that you're on your journey. And if you're lucky, if your spouse or partner is trying, and they're along for the ride and they're supportive of you and they're helping, give them that, acknowledge that.
That's
right. Don't fight just because they may not do something.
I acknowledge you.
Thank you for the acknowledgement.
Just because they may not do something exactly the way you think it should be done or the way that you would do it, shut your mouth.
Yeah, I love that.
You can be a life coach now as well.
Seriously, it's a big piece of it. The more this goes for when you're trying to help people in your life as well. Right? Don't give advice if it's not been asked for.
Whoa! Hey, now we need to include my sister in on this. Like, she is the queen of just making observations and suggestions, and I'm just like, I could have swore I did not, elicit this at all.
Yeah, it's hard to do because we're passionate about this, right? We know the power, and we are all into this is going to change everything, and it's going to make everything better, right? The more you shove it down people's throats, the more you burn bridges, the more relationships you're going to put at risk, and the harder it's going to be on everything. So you got to let people live their lives, and that's the crux of it, right? There's a lot of stuff we can get into, but since we talked about everything else, we don't have a lot of
I feel like I feel like there are 3 levels of like doing like any sort of like lifestyle with a partner. Like there's like the green of like they have the similar or same lifestyle, they're committed and they're actively doing it with you. Yellow is like they ignore you, like it's your thing, but they don't get in your way, right? They're just like, you know what? And then red is when they actively sabotage. It's like when they're actively like, oh, you don't need to do that. Come eat with me, or we always enjoy ice cream together. Like it's when they try to get in your way, right? And so I'm grateful. I'm more of like a yellowish green, like a greenish yellow, because you are keto-ish. We're green-ish. But he definitely is not actively sabotaging, and if anything is supportive in his ability to like kind of like self-sustain and maintain, because a lot of people are surprised when they hear that like we don't cook together, we don't enjoy, like the kitchen is not our space, like our diets are not where we share, like he's supporting me the best he can, and that's by getting out of the way, and also by not having this requirement that I prepare his food when maybe it's more difficult for me to like be around and be doing all that stuff. And
if you're in a relationship that's not green, okay, the biggest thing you have to do is you have to talk about and express what your needs and expectations are. If you don't say anything, then you have zero grounds to be upset with your partner about anything about what they're doing.
That's what I stress the most.
Okay, so step number 1 is Know what you need them to do to support you. If they are actively working against you, then that's a whole nother issue, and you probably need to get a counselor.
Yes.
Right? That's not something that I can help you with.
I've heard couples begin conversations with the question, do you want advice or just support? I think that's great. Like, because, you know, usually when a woman's like venting, the guy's like, just quit your job. Like, no, that's not what I'm asking. That's not why I'm telling you that my boss is getting on my nerves, right? Like, I just want support right now, right? I don't need advice. But, you know, I really think that's a great practice to put in place there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Let each person support each other, be open, communicate, set expectations as early as possible for how you want this to work. If you're the only one doing it and the other person's not, then you need to let them know what you need from them. And in your case, I think you guys are a great example. Like, you know, Richard, just get out the way. Yeah. Right. Let me do my thing. I got to take care of this. This is where I'm going for me.
Yes. So, and, you know, and I think it's more difficult, like with children, you know, like if you have a little ones to feed and whatnot. But my whole thing is, like you said, set expectations. And I find a lot of, and once again, this might just me being a robot or something like that, but like I find a lot of women and spouses or people struggle with, you know, the notion of, well, I have to cook for me and then I have to cook for them. And I'm just like, for why? Like, if you're cooking the food, they're going to eat whatever food it is. Well, but my husband or my spouse wants this. Then he got hands, he can make it. You know, like these are just like my like immediate responses to things. And I guess the social dynamic is just a little, it's different in other relationships. But I'm just like, you don't.
You talk to your sister that way?
Well, we're not in the kitchen.
That's the same relationship.
So, but you know, I guess you don't want that smoke. At the end of the day, the thought is, you have to fight for your health. Like, don't let I gotta cook for my kids and husband, and he doesn't like when I do. Like, don't let that be the reason you stay sick, right? Like, you have to communicate the importance of changing your life and health, and either they're gonna get right or get left. You know, like that's all I'm saying.
If look, this is hard, and I know not everybody can say this. If you want me to cook dinner, you're gonna eat what I cook.
I mean,
that's how I grew up. My mom was like, if I'm cooking it and it's on the table, that's what you're eating. You don't get to that's it.
I understand.
And the whole thing is, especially as an adult, if you want mashed potatoes, go make them. Ain't nobody stopping you. But if you want me to cook and prepare and serve dinner, it's going to be what I need to do.
That's how my parents were.
And the thing is, it's healthy food. Like, so you're not going to try to sit here and make me feel some sort of way for actually serving food, you know, instead of like, you know, fish nuggets and Kraft macaroni and cheese. Like, so I be thinking that's where my response be coming in.
You'd be such a great.
Absolutely.
You're gonna eat this and you're gonna starve. I'm helping you out. You know, like, I mean,
ultimately it comes down to, are you in control of your journey, or are you giving your power away to something outside of yourself or someone outside of yourself?
And I'll tell you this, and I hate to be this person, right? But if you are giving your power away, it's because you're secretly looking for a reason to not have to change your own life anyway. Right? Because 100%. you put the time and energy and the effort into the things that you really want. But if you don't really want to make a change anyway, you'll just look for any reason to be like, well, I think this won't work for me. You know, like my whole thing is, are y'all legitimately getting divorced because you're not serving macaroni and cheese? Like, sit down with your spouse and be like, is this legitimately a deal breaker?
Is this really what we're gonna put this all on, like mac and cheese? Come on.
Because
if that's the case, you're gonna shake it ground
anyway, right? So, you know, so I feel like it's easier to not even broach that conversation, to just make that assumption of, oh, this won't work, because you like secretly don't even want to, oh man, I guess I can't do it now, right? But like, if you're committed to making it happen, I think you would find that there's less resistance than you would think, or that you're like impervious to the resistance. Like, I don't care, kick rocks. Like, this is what we're eating.
Well, you're creating it. You're creating it in your own mind, right?
Exactly.
The time where I get the most frustrated is if I'm watching him do things that I can't do because I'm on a cut.
Yeah.
And then I'm pissy because I want to do it too. Well,
never happens. Never happens.
Well, and you know, so I also read something about this. I saw Instagram. So Maggie Sterling, she is on Instagram, and like she's just one of like her direct matter of fact approach in messaging. It really resonates with me. But she was talking about on one of her podcasts, she was like, we build this narrative, like don't project your problems onto your partner if they're really not doing anything. Like just because he's eating a bag of chips, like don't project your issues onto that of like, and you're taunting me and you know I can't have this, but like you're building it up in your head. Just do what you were doing, you know, like it doesn't have to be this thing, but at the same time, if you truly have an issue with it, you deserve to communicate with it. But if you're just huffing and puffing because you wish things were different and it's not fair, but like you're doing that, right?
World.
Like you're like just cut that off, right? And so that's just really what I work on as well.
Wow,
this man keeps candy in the house, just keeps it. And I'm just like
behind a locked door.
And I'm just like, but I'm like, that's not, it's not his issue. It's not his fault that I'll be like, you know, having issues with candy. But at the same time, if it was truly something that was a stumbling block, he wouldn't hesitate to like, you know, cut it out completely. So it's just like, it's this balance of what is a family issue and just what's your issue to work on, you know?
Set the expectations, draw the lines, and help each other stay within the lines.
Exactly.
Yes, the Wellman says amen to that, Autumn.
Sure
we have to take care of our health.
Eyesight.
Yes.
I have to go travel to get it.
Yes. And yeah, Jen, those are flaps. Thank you for that. But yeah, so I mean, hopefully what we spoke about at the end here kind of wrapped it up for everybody.
Yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong. The beginning of the conversation really had like I'm putting that into practice tomorrow, and I will be reporting it on Sunday because like 8 reps is not, like my first thought was like, do you realize how heavy the weights would have to be for me to only be able to do 8? Like, I don't even understand, right? So I'm looking forward to trying that, right? So I will. I'm excited to see.
Proud of you. You're in my world now.
He owns weightlifting. He's
every time we go into the gym, you just beeline for the cardio side, and I'm always in the weight side by myself, and I'm like, if only my wife. If only she was
Autumn. I went over to the dark side.
I was just staying away from you because I see him across the gym. I'm like, focus on yourself, okay?
Is he over there curling like?
Yeah, I mean, literally. Why is it when I always look at you, you always looking at me? Like, no.
Because that's the point.
No. I'm just seeing if he's really focused.
It's okay. I get it because I stare at him in the gym.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sometimes I take videos from afar.
Focus on yourself. So, and then he'll be like, all these guys were looking at you. And I'm like, you wouldn't know that if you weren't looking at them looking at me.
That's how the mirrors work. The mirrors bounce everywhere.
That's a compliment, Richard. Take it as a compliment.
Oh gosh!
You know you're doing something right when men are staring at your woman.
Exactly. I took it as compliments. Exactly. I agree, everybody.
Yep, she is great. So yes, okay.
What is J-Dog talking about? J-Dog's talking about hacking my book.
Yeah, he's a
strip it down and put it into a binding. Wow!
You can take it down to Kinko's and they can strip the binding and spiralize it for $5 to $10. Makes it super easy to read without the pages falling on you. Wow!
I don't even understand.
Like,
why would you okay, J-Dog, do you do that with other books? I've never heard of anybody doing that.
That's definitely wasn't his first book.
My whole thing is like, is it a workbook where you need to like write in it? Like
at this point, I'm thinking it's every book he reads now.
That's interesting. That's kind of a cool idea.
In an hour, like
they have him on file and everything. They see him coming.
Yes.
And Shauna does that with cookbooks, huh?
I didn't know that was a possibility.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
And spiralize it for you. Like that is great.
Interesting.
Or Jory said that's a lot of work to read. But like, what's wrong with the pages?
I think he likes to do that. Okay, him and Patty just make a day of it.
See, but Lynette brings up a good point. That way you could put it on the treadmill and it stay open. Now
so that I can see. Okay, that makes sense.
Flat leg ability. But see, I'm not reading on a treadmill, so like I don't have to worry about those sort of things. Like I can't be.
And all of y'all aren't going to be on treadmills anymore, anyways. You're going to be in a weight area, so it doesn't even matter.
Go to the weight machine. All right. Reading time is for reading. And treadmill time is for treadmill. Not him again.
They find a way.
Okay, so
that's our time.
Yeah, exactly. That's our time, folks. Because we got these trolls in the dungeon. Well, Coach Bronson, it was so great to talk to you, Natalie. So glad you were here for like the last couple minutes. But like, hopefully next time, Natalie. You'll be available, and we'll have a nice fun topic to talk about.
Of course.
Yes, absolutely.
So, awesome, guys. Take it easy.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So that was absolutely fun. Yes, Jeremy will say yes. I do that with books. Others, yeah. I mean, true.
Hey,
okay.
You do you. Okay.
Yes. Okay, guys. So that was really fun. We hit the hour mark. That was pretty great. But I'm excited because I'm going to be putting that in. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. So I will let you know how the weightlifting thing goes on Sunday. But it was really fun. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday for Whack Wednesday, but also catch us on Sunday for the Weathers channel. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.